But for my best bet on this game, I'll also pick LSU. I'll take 3 points at home. Ole Miss has shown their true colors. I think they've had some struggles so far this season. I think, as you mentioned, Red Stick is a great spot to have more issues there. Before we get to our best bets, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Need for Screens College Football Podcast presented by the pregame.com podcast network. For today's $10 off, as I already alluded to, use promo code DIME10. I need a dime that's top of the line. Dime, DIME. David, India, Michael, Edward, 10. Good for $10 off anything on the pregame.com website. Just use that promo code. It's good for 7 days from the podcast release. So you got until the 15th of October. But don't wait, throw it in there. Go save some money now. Save it today. And that makes sure that we record another episode to try to get an all green graphic at Big East Bend posts every Saturday, or I guess earlier in the week, depending if we have some earlier starts. At Big East Bend, where are you going for your first pick on this college football week 7 podcast?
When you say first pick, you mean my number one best bet?
Your number one best bet. Give it to us.
I love this pick. I'm going with the team currently 18th in the Big Ten standings. UCLA plus 5.5, hosting Minnesota. This UCLA team has had a brutal gauntlet of a schedule. They've taken on Indiana, LSU, Oregon, and Penn State. And they've got significantly better each game. And they haven't really got blown out besides Indiana. And I know Kurt Cignetti has that magic that I don't want to mess with. But Minnesota has not left the state of Minnesota. Yes, they went to Michigan, but that's pretty much the entire state. You just have to cross the lake. Minnesota has been getting told, their players have been told all week that they fart unicorns and piss rainbows after that win over USC. It is the ultimate letdown spot. UCLA plus 5.5.
Minnesota, who has not left the Minnesota state besides their trip to Michigan. I mean, I was waiting for you to say, just to try to get me to list a Mount Rushmore of Minnesota football teams, and I probably would have said Minnesota Whitewater, or that might be Wisconsin Whitewater. So it doesn't even have anything out there. Also pretty close and very nearby. So that will be a UCLA plus 5.5, a nice late one at Big East Bend is giving you for your best bets to do whatever you want during the day. Maybe, take care of some kids or go out with the missus or the partners or whoever's out there and then settle in for UCLA plus 5.5. I'll go with a little bit earlier start. LSU plus 3 at home. What on the Mount Rushmore of hardest places to play, a little bit more intimidating than the nerds at Duke. I think Ole Miss has shown that they've got some issues, and I'm looking forward to seeing another Jackson Dart darting the other way down the sidelines. Not calling a pick six, but I do feel he's a little more turnover prone than it's talked about. So I'll go LSU plus 3 for my best bet. At Big East Bend, we'll go Minnesota, fading Minnesota, UCLA plus 5.5 at home in another very intimidating Rose Bowl. Beautiful, beautiful stadium, nice grass, right in the middle of a golf course. But hopefully won't need it because Minnesota's been pissing rainbows for a while after beating UCLA.
PJ Fleck, such a dork. I read an article he gave them the team confidence pills before their win over USC, and they were just filled with Sprite.
Oh, I'm just glad that it'd be really hilarious if the row the boat guy got his team all suspended for taking performance enhancers, and it was like a sanctioned activity.
What was he accused of? What was he doing?
I don't know. I don't. I haven't really been following the PJ Fleck life story. I got to say another thing. So we'll come back with our Mount Rushmore of most raucous or difficult college sports venues for our next show, and then we'll figure out and we'll get Ben on the ground in Minnesota. It's not that cold yet. Trying to figure out exactly what PJ Fleck I guess swept under the rug. But
I got family up there. I got a place to stay.
Great. Okay. On assignment at Big East Bend, we'll take UCLA plus 5.5 at the real_G Warner. We'll go LSU plus 3. We'll see you on next week's podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great evening and